want to see good games.
There you go. Yeah, that's always the answer. I want to see a good best of three, full three games. That's always the way to go. But I mean, that is always exciting. Of course, we do see the rest of the bans coming out. Jace, Teemo being banned out this time. So Pecs, they know they're not first pick. They're not going to leave that open. They don't want Zabers to get that sneaky Teemo, and they're just going to ban it right off the bat. The chat bans, of course, as you see, are in the little white boxes at the bottom there.
And looking like some usual suspects being banned. Jax, because he does a lot of damage. He's durable. He has a... You ban champions because they have a lot of damage and they're durable, and you pick champions because they have a lot of damage and are durable, usually. But Jax is particularly annoying just because his stun is great, and he can just kind of get out of control later on in the game because of Grandmaster's Might procs, and Empower is really good spell to have. Plus, he's got a sick AoE melee that also keeps him alive and stuns. It's like one of the best abilities in the game, I think. Jace, he's got long range. He's from the future. He's already actually watched this game, so you can't bring him in because then that team would know what's going to happen already. And he's got a sick knockback, and he's durable and durable and everything. Yeah, Jace is a good champion. Teemo, he's harass-tastic. He's got a dot, which combined with Hextech Sweeper means he can literally see forever, and he's got extremely good map control. Lulu makes her allies... She makes her allies' hit points a lie. She's quick. She slows other people. Good champion. Ezreal can kite. Long range interrupt. That's long with a bunch of O's in the middle. Range interrupt. With the True Shot Barrage, and it does damage too, I believe. But usually it's used in Dominion a lot for that interrupt, and it's great at what it does. He's also good at hanging back and kiting. You never know where Ezreal's going to be, but you know exactly what he's going to do to you. Now, Amumu gets banned because he's durable and he can machine gun out AoEs. Darn near everything he has is an AoE. And his stun/engage with Bandage Toss has got range on it. But this means we get to see... Oh, I'm excited for this. I know Sauron plays a good Darius. So...
Oh, for sure.
We're going to see... I hope we're going to see the sick plays in this game because... Sauron's Jax is a thing that makes me just scared about seeing Jax in a game. But thankfully no one else plays as well as he does. And seeing Sauron play Darius is like seeing Sauron play Jax, but if he had a bladed weapon and a cooldown reset, and was just a lot more horrible overall. I still would rather ban Jax against Sauron than Darius. But see, in this case, they banned Jax and picked Darius because Jax, if Jax is off the table, then it kind of opens up a few more... What are those guys called? It opens up a few more options in the way of melee champions. Same thing if you ban out Malphite. If you ban out Jax and Malphite, if you ban out Jax, Malphite, and Teemo, then your team can just be like the lord of attack damage. Because that means they're not going to have a spammable blind, they're not going to have a spammable attack speed slow. Ezreal doesn't have an attack speed slow anymore, so it doesn't matter if he gets picked or not. And then, without Jax, there's no one that can just deny your burst with counterattack. So... And they still have the potential to pick up a Malphite in response to that, but that's not really that useful when you're using Darius as cleanup. Now, if you're using him as just straight up bruiser, yes, Darius or Malphite's great against Darius, but otherwise it's a little true damage. I like the Rumble because Equalizer's great. It's got long range, it's an AoE, and it lingers. And it lingering is probably the best thing about it. The more that I cast Dominion, the more I appreciate some of the subtler effects of abilities. Like, Teemo's dot ticks for, I actually don't know how long, so don't quote me on this. Let's say Teemo's dot ticks for 4 seconds, and Hextech Sweeper reveals for 4 seconds. That means instead of hitting them and only getting 4 seconds of vision, you hit them and get 8 seconds of vision because it refreshes every dot tick until the last. And then it goes on for its normal duration after that. So you get extreme vision. And... other things like the Brand Amumu combo, both having percent damage, and if they run, heavy pen and magic resistance reduction, then that percent damage gets really awesome. What's his name? I was going to say Thor, but that's a completely different game. Olaf
Olaf.
with the true damage. It's like, okay, you're gonna build tanky, you're gonna build resistances, and Olaf just doesn't care. So, and Corky's got a little bit of that too, and we see some Corky play once in a while. He's got that extra little true damage component to his abilities, which makes it nice. And I see, I
A
don't, what's
Zillion?
going on?
Yes. Yeah, so there's been a lot of picks while we were talking. But obviously you can see them on your screen. But yeah, Zillion's been picked up by Point Defense, and usually we're only used to seeing Zillion when Pooters is playing, and Pooters himself is playing Zillion. But I do wonder if Point Defense is going to use Zillion in the same manner, or if they're just going to kind of use him for the team fights, the resets, the initiations. Obviously, there's a lot to be done there, but I feel like then you're just not just because I'm used to seeing Pooters, I feel like then you're not utilizing his speed as well. Of course, you can still kind of kite in and out and whatever and chase. So
What? Sauron plays Kog'Maw? I did not know that. Sorry.
all sorts of things being thrown out the window right now. We have a Tristana being picked up, getting picked or now being given to Infeed, and Buddha Rice taking that Wukong. Of course, Half-Hearted Brand is something that a lot of people have probably heard of or seen. Pretty well known. He's had a guide on it too, so very good brand player. A Painkiller on that Blitzcrank again. Blueberry and Kale. This is going to be an interesting match for sure. I'm very interested to see kind of Tristana going up against Kog'Maw. Of course, Tristana has the range, and Tristana does have a jump. It's not as great because it can be interrupted. You can be knocked out of the air and things like that. But we'll see. I mean, you can still jump over the walls if need be. You can jump in. You can get the reset. There are advantages to that skill. So pretty excited for this game. I mean, we're looking at some new fresh picks that we're not used to seeing, at least in our tournaments, and especially for these teams and players should be fun. And not to mention, I mean, overall, the champion picks are good to begin with. I mean, we have the Evelyn again, we have Darius, Wukong's back, Brand's there, Blitzcrank is there. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah, I can see it all on paper. I'm just having a lot of trouble grasping the thing. Um,
The thing.
the thing. I've typed a thing to recycled. Real quick. I see. I'm on an old Windows XP machine, and it's slow. I have a slightly quieter keyboard, which makes me happy. Um, yeah, I'm gonna probably cash from my roommate's computer tomorrow if he'll let me for the 4PL tournament. But no, you were talking about Zillion, and MMKH likes to play fast champions. He likes to play Blitzcrank, likes to play Singed. I've seen MMKH play Teemo a couple times. Usually that's Sabers' thing though. And I think that Zillion just kind of fits in with that. He likes to play fast champions, and you could Zillion can be played AP. I know it's
It's
weird
true.
because Zillion's like a speedy champ and he's like backdoory, but like what if I told you there were Zillion builds other than Pooters? I'll let that sink in for a second. Yeah. I mean you can build AP on him and he can be like, bombs away. And up top, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing like Sauron gonna get bursted down by someone, and he's gonna get back up and finish killing people because their stuff's on cooldown. And the whole team seems fragile, though, is the only thing that I'm kind of raising an eyebrow at. Eve dies, Kog'Maw dies, Zillion dies, Rumble's pretty durable. Darius is Dariable or something. I I don't even know who bottom lane's on that team. Is it Necro on Darius? Can you
I would.
bottom lane
I
Darius?
mean, it sounds
What's
like
going
it's gonna
on?
be Darius, but we'll really just have to wait and see. I'm pretty excited for this match. The picks, the formations, the strategies, the team fight potential. Uh, It's gonna be fresh. It's gonna be new, and I mean, it could just be Kog'Maw bot. I mean, Kog'Maw does have a good disengage, could farm up, and then of course later can just really annihilate anyone. I think really there's a lot of people here on both sides that can go wherever they see fit. So I think it's down to the team to decide that.
This game is going to be hot like a parked car. I'm glad I can watch it live because I would definitely watch this in the VODs later.
So we are about to load into game 2 of the best of 3 finals for Dominate Dominion number 30, powered by Cybersports Network. Your casters for the night have been myself, Chobra, and Gander. And, if Pecs takes this, it's it for Dominate Dominion number 30. But if Point Defense brings it back, it's going to go to a third game tiebreaker. So we will
One
just have to
more
wait and
game.
see.
I love it when we get one more game.
It is pretty exciting when we get to do a full best of 3.
Point
Uh-oh.
defense, though. Ooh, what's not? Oh,
Zabers is
not. Oh.
not connected. Has lost the internets once again.
Oh.
Gotta put a leash on
He
that.
forgot where he put him.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
seriously.
gotta put a leash on it. There you go. Yeah, Payzone and Child Support has been winning a lot recently. Payzone and Child Support and Blind Pick Banditos keep seeming to trade off and on for who is placing pretty good. Wow, I thought that Tristana was Pulsefire Ezreal for a second. I need to go to sleep or something. What is wrong with me? But yeah, for a long time, it was Point Defense was the best team, and then it was Blind Pick Banditos was the best team. Now it's Payzone and Child Support, and then it's Blind Pick Banditos again, then it's Payzone and Child Support again, and Point Defense kind of like dipped down for a little while Sauron was on a little bit of a break from League doing some real life stuff and then came back. And now Point Defense has been kind of slowly and steadily back on the up and up. They're doing well again. And we'll see if in this series they can take back their first place spot that they held for such a long time. Point Defense, up until recently, they were the team that had the most of everything. They had the most first place finishes. They had the most games played. They had a lot of records in Dominion. Now they're kind of tied with Blind Pick Banditos. And over the last few weeks, Payzone and Child Support has been rapidly catching up. Payzone and Child Support was a team that's so new they had no participations in NESL's conflict on the Crystal Scar. They only started playing Dominion during the Dominate Dominion era of Dominion history. So for them to be catching up to some of those more established teams, it's really awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And Rocket Girl Tristana, by the way, one of my favorite skins. I like it. I use it. I'm an avid Tristana player. But I am interested to see. So is it going to be Tristana bot in feed, walking back and forth, rocket jumping over that Blitzcrank? But let us introduce the teams once again in case you just tuned in. On the blue side for the second game of the finals here this week is going to be Point Defense, led by Sauron on Kog'Maw, High Peoples on Rumble, Zabers on Evelyn, MMKH on Zillion, and Necrogen on Darius. I am Chobra. One of your casters for the night with me is Gander. Who do we have on the purple side?
On the purple side, we have Infeed playing as Tristana, Captain Blueberry playing as Kale, Painkiller as Blitzcrank, Half-Hearted as Brand, and Buddha Rice as Wukong. Their powers combined makes the team Pays Evelyn Child Support.
And are we going to see a Kog'Maw Tristana bottom lane? I think that would just be silly but ridiculous at the same time. It would really come down to ganks. Ooh, we have a pause. Zabers may have lost the internet again. Seems to
Oh
be losing
man,
it
he
now
keeps
and
forgetting
then.
where he put that. Needs a
Honestly.
GPS on it. Yeah, if we
But
get Cog Trist bottom, I think we can just tell the meta to go on break for this game, tell it to go grab lunch, and it can come back later.
I mean, it would kind of turn into, some solo lanes you might see on Summoner's Rift, or even the bottom lanes where it becomes a farm fest. But of course here it's been High Peoples actually. But here, of course, the ganks are much more open. The map's smaller. There's speed shrines. Everyone can come and gank at any time. Doesn't need a jungler or whatever. So both characters would also have to be very, very aware of potential ganks coming their way. In that case, I don't know. Tristana does have the jump, but it has that build-up animation versus Kog'Maw, who's disengaged with Void Ooze, is very efficient in blocking the onslaught coming up, especially if they don't have a blink to catch up with. So I think it'll be interesting to see. Yeah,
Which they don't have any blinks. Now, Blitzcrank could go for the grab, but I feel like Sauron is experienced enough that he's just not going to... He's going to play the lower half of the lane a little bit and really deny any opportunities the Painkiller would get for a rocket grab over the wall at him. They'd have to force Sauron up there
right.
with some sort of harass or something.
I think it's either gonna be a very boring bot lane or a very dynamic bot lane, especially, and I think it's gonna turn into the second, just because both teams are gonna realize that these characters are so susceptible to ganks alone, and with characters like Blitzcrank and Zillion who can speed around the map, or Zabers on Evelynn, even Kale really on being played by Captain Blueberry, they can move back and forth very quickly and set up those ganks. So we'll have to wait and see. The summoner platforms are about to finish as we go into this game, and then we'll have to find out. It is in fact going to be Infeed going bottom and Sauron going bottom. I wonder if alone though. High Peoples is leading towards the bottom. It's actually going to be Rumble and Kama going towards the bottom lane, at least to be good. No? High Peoples actually may have auto-routed the wrong way and is actually now stuck on the wall. I hope he's not still lagging. So we are going to see that Kog'Maw and Tristan are going to be bottom. And then now High Peoples is back on track up towards top. That left only MMK and Necrogen up at the top tower. So they've taken a little bit more early damage, but nothing too ooh, good apprehend by Necrogen, but maybe a little bit too early. No one was there to follow up with the damage, and Necrogen instantly gets burst down. Now Zabers, High Peoples all on the run. Zabers gets drawn back by a great pick coming out from Painkiller. That leaves High Peoples all alone to take all of the damage. No one gets sacrificed from the Pecs side. Zillion, being played by MKH, is going to run away and go for the drill, and that's going to allow Pecs to get a free windmill very early. No revives used. Great start. Also a triple kill on Half-Hearted's Brand, which is going to help him really build up his damage for the early game.
Oh, died by just a fraction of a second there. Reckoning just catching up just barely in time to interrupt that.
Meanwhile, Tristana's been chased away at the Boneyard, trying to just kind of harass Necrogen. Necrogen is going to back off as Painkiller goes straight for Sauron, but there's the exhaust. Sauron and Necrogen going to go onto Painkiller. Painkiller's on the Void, he's taking a lot of damage. The tower's been neutralized. There is no extra tower damage. They need to run away. Pecs is forced away from their bottom tower, and Necrogen alone, can he get the kill onto Infeed? He just needs one more hit. He's going to pick up the kill as Sauron alone starts channeling onto the Boneyard, and that's a 3-cap 4-point defense. Meanwhile, up top, High People's taking a lot of damage, but Scrap Shield is going to keep him alive for the time being. Zabers is still at full health, though low on mana, so he's going to have to pick up that health relic if he wants to make a move onto either of these champions. Hayfart and Buddha Rice both quite low, so there we go. Evelynn jumping in. There's the last hate spike, picks up the shutdown, and now Buddha Rice is the moment he jumps in, he's going to die. He needs to decide very carefully. He uses the decoy, but it's still going to be a quick kill with another auto attack. Zabers now in a little bit of dangerous. Painkiller shows up though. Zabers gonna have to run away. Can Painkiller get the grab? Nope. There's the speed buff, and now Zillion shows up for extra harass, but the grab gets Zabers. Zabers is trying to stay alive with Sorrow's Embrace. He is in fact going to live as High Peoples also comes up. Necrogen stops the advancement from Half-Hearted. What a play coming out from point defense.
And Darius able to get the kill in there on Brand as well. Buddha Rice now in the thick of things, trying to keep them disrupted and kind of split up, because no one wants to get too close to Wukong. Captain Blueberry chases Zabers on out of the fight, and Airborne on MMKH enables Buddha Rice to get up a little bit closer to him. Rocket Grab pulls him back, but Buddha Rice is retreating, heading back to the tower in order to capture it, as his teammates keep the respective enemies away from them, enabling him to safely capture it. And MMKH runs away right into Brand. And Half-Hearted is just like, oh, well, I'll just take this Zillion if no one wants it. And just picks it up and gets a handful of dollars for his troubles. And in the bottom lane, Sauron's pushing up some creeps, uses it as an opportunity to go back. Kale looking like going to pick up this Storm Shield in the middle of the map here. And there's the Equalizer going down to interrupt that. I love that ability so much. Right there, and MKH gonna get slow on Blueberry. Blueberry is getting away, taking some damage. High People sticks his head out, almost gets stunned by Brand right there, but is able to get away. But Painkiller intercepting from the side. Is he gonna be able to help take down High Peoples? Yes, he is. Sauron comes up from the bottom to try and deter them a little bit, as Zillion goes down to harass Tristana and create an opportunity for Sauron to actually get up and leave. But now Zillion's in a bad spot. MMKH is in the middle of a Pays Evelynn child sandwich there in the middle of the map and gets taken down. But with 4 of them down there, Zabers and Necrogen are able to pick up a kill on Wukong, and there's just been a lot of little chaotic skirmishes so far this game.
Yeah, a lot of action going on all over the map, but I would say it's pretty dead even right now. Of course, the Nexus score is pretty close. It's still early in the game. Kill-wise, it's pretty spread out, other than Half-Hearted's Brand, of course, had that early triple kill, leading him with 5-2-2 for the entire game. But Darius is looking pretty strong, too. 3-1, has that Brutalizer already, going to be putting out a lot of damage. High People's now joining Necrogen up at the top. They want to defend this windmill. They have the 3-cap. They just want to play it patient, and Captain Blueberry and Painkiller are going to see that. They're going to back off, although Blueberry does have that Storm Shield. Blueberry also has intervention, so if they wanted to, they could have tried to set up a play, but they're not going to risk anything. As Half-Hearted and Buddha Rice now group up at the Moon Speed Shrine. Zabers is going to run right into Half-Hearted, get stunned, but Half-Hearted does not want to fight. Buddha Rice actually comes back in and says, no, we can take this, but Zabers is still already going to be too far ahead. Meanwhile, MKH now just running away from Painkiller, clowning around in the bottom portion of the map. Actually tries to get the kill onto Infeed. Just needs. Is that going to be enough? No. But the second bomb definitely is going to be enough. Infeed is going to go down. No, Infeed's going to live with 25 health. MKH just one more auto attack is all he would have needed. But now Infeed's going to try to lifesteal back with the minion wave and then run away. And that's going to stop the chase from Sauron and Necrogen. No, Sauron's still looking. Definitely not going to catch up though. But could get the kill onto Painkiller. Gets the vision with his living artillery, gets the mana barrier proc, and now he's just chasing down. Look at the Bio-Arcane Barrage putting out so much damage. No, Sauron! The attack move must have clicked onto the minion or auto-targeted onto the minion as he lost vision of Painkiller around the corner. So unfortunate. Allowed Painkiller to go get the health relic, and now Sauron's gonna have to back off. Meanwhile at top, Half-Hearted gets thwarted as he tries to pressure the windmill, but he does get the neutralize as the minions push up.
And I kind of like what MKH is going for here. He's going for the back capping that, you know, Pooters is known for and that we theorized about at the beginning of the game, but he's also doing a lot of very combat-oriented things. He's sticking around, he's kiting people to engagements, so it's sort of like a fake Pooters. Painkiller, oh gosh, almost killing him. MKH was one rocket grab away from disaster, but it seems like anyone who gets near Painkiller is living with 2-digit hit points these days. That survival method must be contagious. And Wukong's going to take back the drill that MMKH had neutral, but Painkiller's going to go ahead and go up top. There's no one there to contest it. He's going to be able to neutral that. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the full flip around or not on it, but Sauron's in a bad spot in the bottom lane. Captain Blueberry comes down behind him. Him and Infeed decide to do it out. But Donna with the knockback to safety for Sauron. He's going to go and get away there from that knockback, enabling him to get out of the fight.
Ooh, meanwhile, top Half-Hearted gets a good Pyroclasm between Necrogen and Zabers, but no kill comes out. Equalizer very well placed, but no one's walking out. Actually, Half-Hearted tries to go through it. It does run out. Zabers has now been exhausted, so Half-Hearted is going to just put down some free damage onto him. Meanwhile, Buddha Rice uses Decoy to get away from High Peoples. It's very, very tense right now. We do see that Necrogen has taken the kill onto Painkiller, and Buddha Rice tries to get the kill onto MKH, but MKH, very clever, puts the bomb on, uses his ult to survive, and then picks up the kill as he revives from his own ultimate. Meanwhile, Necrogen and Zabers picks up the kill, and they're going to rechannel onto the windmill. Point defense is going strong in this game too, but the 3-cap is still in favor of Pecs as they have taken the quarry, and now Kale is putting out so much damage onto Sauron. Sauron needs to watch out. Blueberry also has a damage buff now with MMKH. Sauron is confident. They're just going to keep chasing. Sauron's putting out a lot of good damage. Blueberry does trade though, but that's going to leave MKH free to channel. Will Infeed come? Yes, Infeed's going to just interrupt that. Neutralize doesn't even happen, and Infeed is going to be able to defend for the time being alone. We'll see what happens when High People shows up here at the quarry.
He is hanging out nearby there. He wants to push that creep wave up, wants to bring it with him to help get that neutral even better, and Infeed is going to get forced back away from that point. MKH is diving kind of hard. Infeed jumps over the wall and out to safety up the top lane. However, the engagement is going a very different direction, where Pays Evelyn Childsport was able to secure a kill on Necrogen, and now Zabers is trying to defend the point by himself, but he is just one lonely little old Evelyn against 4 not so lonely little old zombie monkey robot and minions. So completely different types of things going on up there, and he had to back off and let that point go. Now High Peoples is trying to secure the Storm Shield in the center of the map, or if not secure it, at least keep Kale there long enough for MMKH to come up from the bottom, drop a little bomb on him right there, and now the engagement started to move over towards the center of the map, with High Peoples being there for as long as he had, more people joining that into that fight. Painkiller comes up from the bottom there, diving High Peoples to keep him back away from it. Necrogen comes down from the top, MMKH up from the bottom. Now they're kind of splitting off a little bit, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Couple of them zoning each other top, couple bottom. both teams kind of spread out all over the map right now.
Ooh, Blueberry does finish the Storm Shield. Of course, the bomb placing it is not going to interrupt that. It had to have exploded. MK just knocking on auto tag. Meanwhile, top Buddha Rice running very low. There's the dunk coming out from Darius. Buddha Rice did get the kill onto Zabers though. Now Painkiller comes up. There's an exhaust, but Necrogen is still in a 2v1 situation. Hayfarted kiting back and forth, waiting for the crowd control to come up from Painkiller. Necrogen going for the dunk, but the mana barrier was still up, completely denied on that attack. Meanwhile, bottom we see Infeed gets a kill on and then jumps out of the Icathian surprise to not take that true damage. Very well played, and then pushes up the minion wave. Now going to go back to base. Very smart move because Zabers is heading bottom to make sure that Infeed doesn't stick around for a sneaky tower capture. Ooh, no, never mind. Infeed's back for the next minion wave. Zabers is showing up. Infeed needs to watch out. There's the hate spike. Infeed is completely done. Shut down. Not even a sweat coming out from Zabers.
Nope, just able to come down there and quick pick that up. And now they might try and go for a play down at the bottom, though Kale is there, and Kale is definitely a deterrent. Up at the top, though, there's a dive going on the tower. Painkiller's doing a really good job of crowd controlling Necrogen right there, and Necrogen going to come back up any moment, comes straight back to life. Killer, but is not able to do so until a few seconds later, and then Dot Damage is able to pick him off. It's a little bit of a delayed action Darius right there, and now Zabers and Buddha Rice having a disagreement of sorts. High People's coming around to try and settle this argument in a diplomatic manner, but Buddha Rice doesn't like High People's trying to interject, so he's going to beat him with a stick and chase him away, and now Zabers able to pick up that kill on him. Going to turn around and start capturing the windmill. Kale's on his way, her way up, though, and they're going to chase Zabers on away from there. Yeah, yep. Captain Blueberry's Kale. Nice timing.
Very, very well. Meanwhile, bottom Infeed pushes up the minion wave once again, and we do see two members of point defense coming down, but Painkiller is also on his way. This could turn ugly for either side right now. Infeed in a little bit of danger. Necrogen making sure not to use Apprehend just yet. Oh, but a good ultimate coming up from Infeed, pushing him away, so now Necrogen is forced to use the Apprehend onto Painkiller. That's going to be a kill onto Painkiller for sure, though. There's the dunk, it gets the reset, and now Buddha Rice being harassed by MK. MK still hasn't taken that much damage. Buddha Rice actually jumps into Necrogen. Not the best idea. There's the Cyclone, though, and Necrogen, is he going to go down? He does go down, but there's the Zillion. Meanwhile, Sauron survives as he duels Wukong, and Sauron gets a double kill. Look at that, instantly just melting away whatever was left of Tristana. Meanwhile, Necrogen trying to put out all the damage he can before he goes down. Revive is getting popped by everyone on Pazel and Child Support. They come back to defend this tower. It's been neutralized, so the clock's been stopped, but they're going to be able to recapture the Boneyard. Sauron not going to be able to make it out from that brush. Very, very close. Very nice try, but Infeed is going to get that and uses the reset to try to catch up to MKH, but Zillion is too fast as he just completely stops the movement of Tristana with that slow.
And Pain chasing MKH around in the center of the map there, keeping him from really being able to do anything else. Infeed gonna not go for that. He's like, I don't feel like fighting Necrogen right now. He's gonna back off a little bit, and Painkiller was successful in chasing MMKH up to the top, was able to get him away from Mace for the middle. MMKH decides to circle back around, gets grabbed though, pulled right on into the Wukong, and Steam Golem gets a kill up very, very top. In the middle of the windmill, though, there is a little bit of engagement. High Peoples and Zabers going in for Half Hard, who was up there by himself. Minions might be able to turn around. No, Painkiller had something to say about that, and that tower just narrowly getting rescued there by Painkiller, killing those minions. If Painkiller had opted to go for Evelyn instead, the point would have gone neutral.
Meanwhile, bottom, we see point defense pressuring the Boneyard. Once again, they really just want to shut this down. They've decided that this is their focus. Good Cyclone coming up from Buddha Rice, but Necrogen still gets out alive. MMK still at good health. Sauron now has Zillion's ultimate, so he's just going to actually try to die, if anything, with that little health left. But it doesn't matter. The ultimate's going to run out, so he needs to run away. Bran actually gets a good hit right as Zillion's ultimate runs out, so Sauron completely forced to run away. Necrogen gets bursted down by Infeed. Infeed's using that reset to try to catch up to Sauron, but gets disengaged by Void Ooze. Very good Void Ooze out of the brush. Sauron's going to go out to safety. Now MK is just trying to keep this tower on their side, and Zillion's going to be able to kite back and forth quite well. Hayfart is coming back, but both of them are pretty low because of the tower, so MKH in a decently comfortable spot, puts the bomb on himself actually, and is just going to run around making sure no one touches this boneyard. It's now going to turn to a 3v1, but it's still been delayed so long that it's been worth it for MKH. Meanwhile, top lane, we do see the pressure coming out from point defense. Look at that slow though from MKH. Good kiting in through the tower, and now Sauron shows up. Infeed needs to watch out. Sauron can pick up a really quick kill here. Infeed does go into the brush to disengage, but there's an exhaust onto both Buddha Rice and Sauron. Quick kill onto Infeed, and now Sauron gets a double kill onto Buddha Rice, defends the boneyard. Meanwhile, top lane, point defense doing work, gets the shutdowns, gets all the kills, and now they're going to take away the windmill.
And Brand might get there in time to get the neutral. Yes, he is, but he gets a little bit close. Necrogen pulls him in with the Apprehender, but Zabers can't get too close, or that Pyroclast. Oh, good thing that minion died, or Zabers would have been a roasty toasty masquerade. Evelyn, masquerade? It's masquerade, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, roasty toasty masquerade, Evelyn. That would have been had that Pyroclasm been able to bounce any more than that. Zombie Brand gonna go ahead and zombie shuffle on down away from the point, and the engagement in the bottom. Sauron is being, well, he got pulled back into the fight by Blitzcrank there, but he does have the ultimate from Zillion on him. It's not going to last terribly long, though, and he is going to get taken down for good that time. High People circles around to try and get into the point to help delay it even more, but with 4 people down there at the bottom, High Peoples really isn't able to get anything done there, and Tristana and Infeed able to take the point back. And now it's a little bit, it's a 3 cap to 2 caps, crazy. There, see Tristana and Kale both have their IEs going for them right now. Half-Heart's Brand just hanging out, middle of the map, wants to make sure nobody backcaps. Doesn't want to go for the top because he just doesn't figure that he's the one who gets head out like that. Wants to wait, group up with his teammates just like that, and now the 4 of them are going to all group up and head up to the top lane to try and take the windmill.
Ooh, meanwhile, bottom lane, Sauron using that brush to his advantage, forced Tristana to attack move and actually end up attacking the minion wave for 2 hits, and Sauron got the upper hand in that. Of course, it was also a 2v1 alongside MMKH. Red team does get the windmill, but they now sacrifice the boneyard. Point defense is relentless against this boneyard. They're like, hey, you can take the windmill anytime you want. We'll just trade it with the boneyard. Meanwhile, a huge fight going down. It's a 2v2 first. It's a skirmish. Painkiller's running pretty low. Is he going to get dunked on? Look at that mana barrier. It is massive alongside the Hex Drinker shield, and now High People's left alone gets finished off. What a fight coming out from Pecs. Can they get the refinery though? Sauron is now back up here. He's going to disrupt it. I think he's going to be okay for the time being. Buddha Rice sees that and goes straight for the quarry.
And getting routed away from the point, Sauron is going to chase Blueberry and Half-Heart back away from it. Zillion is going to get grabbed by Painkiller and assaulted in the middle of the lane as MKH was trying to backcap that point. He's going to turn around, go for a neutral, knowing that his fate is largely sealed, and Tristana goes in for a rocket jump there to get some extra damage. Blitzcrank picking up the kill, and now Kale swinging down for the bottom point. Captain Blueberry going down there to try and pick that up. We'll see if he's able to do so, or if Zabers' Evelyn and Sauron's Kog'Maw is able to get in range, and Kog'Maw's got quite a long range, so that is proven true, and Captain Blueberry taking a lot of damage right there, saves with the intervention for a couple of moments there before getting taken down. Now Infeed and Sauron are having a disagreement of sorts. High Peoples throws down the... Nope, Tristan is going to just jump away from there. Oh, no, get caught anyway outside the platform, doubling back just a little bit right there, gets taken down, and now High Peoples and Buddha Rice are going to continue their discussion on over by that tower, and it seems like Buddha Rice is winning that argument convincingly, but MMKH has a supporting argument that he'd like you to hear. Buddha Rice doesn't want to hear any and goes back to the summoner platform. Now Captain Blueberry and Painkiller, though, diving the point again, trying to get it back from the firm grip of point defense, and they may finally be able to do so. That mana barrier, though, in effect right now, if MMKH has any tricks, he does have a Garrison up his sleeve, slams that onto the tower, wants to know what they think of it, and they think they're going to have to deal with it and turn that point over. It goes neutral, they're going to pick that back up, but now can Half-Heart defend the top point from Necrogen and Zabers.
Really good stun, and look at that Pyroclasm doing so much damage onto Necrogen. Hayfighter did go down, but Buddha Rice can pick up a quick kill here if he wants, but the minion wave is huge. He needs to clear that. He's going to have to use a Cyclone. Good call on his part to make sure that the tower doesn't get neutralized by the minions, and a great grab by Painkiller allows for the Nimbus Strike over the corner. High Peoples and Necrogen show back up, but a good Garrison this time around coming out once again to defend that windmill. Pecs does not want to lose this advantage that they finally regathered. Good equalizer coming from High Peoples, but Budarice dodges it with a Nimbus Strike. He doesn't want to chase through it though, although High Peoples was exhausted, so not too much damage. Budarice needs to back up. Painkiller's coming up with the crowd control. They're putting down a lot of damage. There's the heal from Captain Booberry. They pick up the kill, but Zillion is there to save him. High Peoples still taking a lot of damage from Captain Booberry, so he's going to need to run away. MKH putting the bomb on himself once again. Gotta figure something out with those keys, man. You just keep putting them on yourself, and you're nowhere near anybody else. And Half-Hearted, meanwhile, dueling against Sauron. Sauron not in the best place right now. Half-Hearted putting down a lot of damage. Infeed needs to watch out. Gets hit by the living artillery, and Infeed's actually charging through, but one more hit and he could die. Look at that. The crit takes him out. Double kill for Sauron. Some miscommunication there and how they want to kite Sauron. Sauron picks up a good double kill. Can he get the capture? I think he's just going to reset the neutralize because Budarice is here in time.
And Budarice does pick that interrupt off from him. Point defense able to secure the windmill while it's going on. They got a neutral point down there, and Blitzcrank just kind of can't go anywhere because he has to deal with MMKH poking his head out, trying to push in a little bit, applying that pressure just by being present on that side of the map there. And he has to go up and zone him away from the drill again, but gets the grab off on him, pulls him underneath the tower right there. Half-Hard comes right in from behind, wants to go for a stun, but wants to make sure he can land it before he really commits to throwing out any pyroclasms or anything like that. That would have been a really good setup there, but he was just out of range, unfortunately. And now Painkiller is in a rough spot in between Zabers and crew from point defense. Gets apprehended right on out of the bushes, pulled away right there. The equalizer goes down through the wall to try and deliver some extra damage into him. And now Booberry getting separated from the other two, gets taken down. Now it looks like they're turning their attention towards Brand. They're closing in around from both sides. They want to get rid of him because Brand has the most mana, which means he's probably the most dangerous one right now. No, grab, pulled out of the fight. MMKH gets taken down over by the drill, and Budarice comes back into play. He wants to get rid of Necrogen, throws down the Cyclone right there, but is it, yes, going to be enough? He gets taken down in the exchange, though, but High Peoples is still there. Zabers is still there. Point defended.
Ooh, so they're going to be able to go back up. Zabers actually almost got taken out, too. They went for a pretty much do-or-die duel between Painkiller and Zabers. Painkiller used... I think he used his static field, but it wasn't enough to take out Zabers. Zabers barely lives, and High Peoples now at decent health. He's going to be able to run away. Takes the health relic. Zabers is going to have to go back anyway, but Budarice and Half-Hearted here too, so Windmill's going to go straight back to Pecs. It's just a back and forth, and now it's Infeed up at the top. Infeed's been farming up in the bottom, has an Infinity's Edge, Phantom Dancer, and Last Whisper on top of an Executioner's Calling. Very good pickup, and that leaves Captain Booberry alone and to deal with MKH, and deal he will. Look at that damage from coming out from Kale. Zillion's going to have to back off. Necrogen shows up though. The tower's already at half, so Blueberry's going to have to do some good kiting, but Painkiller shows up out of nowhere. There's the slow, there's the uppercut, and there's the exhaust on both champions. There's a good grab. Necrogen not able to be joined by Zabers. That's a quick kill. Infeed trying to get the reset. Not good enough, but Infeed's still going to try to push up. Zabers is in the brush. Is Infeed going to get insta-get? Meanwhile, Sauron picks up a kill on the other side of the map. Infeed's just going at it, but look at the Executioner's Calling doing work. Zabers needs to run away. Infeed wants the kill, but you know what? He says, I'll just heal all the way up with this minion wave, and he's going to start pushing up against the core. And meanwhile, up that top, Budarice, look at that great teamwork with the Cyclone and the intervention. Even with the equalizer, Blueberry and Budarice both going to survive, and they're going to defend the windmill once again. They still have the 3-cap. Infeed now trying to run away from Necrogen as Necrogen comes to save Zabers and the quarry. So Infeed's going to have to keep running. Necrogen's probably going to turn his attention to the tower. There he goes, but Hateheart is coming down from base. Everyone is just relaying back and forth. Really good timings from both teams. Pecs right now is trying to cut down the gap though. 75 to 44 in favor of point defense. Can Hateheart defend this long enough for Painkiller and Captain Blueberry to show up?
Only time will tell. Painkiller coming down from the top, and they are going to back off. They see those reinforcements coming, like you said, Chobra. They're going to come down from the top, and they saw that before it happened. Decided to back off a little bit, regroup. You can see MKH's Zillion coming on down here, but it's going to make for a lopsided fight up top as Kale heads up there to deal with Zabers. So we'll see how these different engagements go. Half-Heart gets caught away from his team, and dunk Darius right on down on top of his head. Now Painkiller getting chased back on away, and Infeed is down on the tower trying to defend it as best he can. The apprehend does not land, unfortunately, but neither does the rocket grab, so no harm, no foul down there. High People's in the back of the fight, though, taking a lot of damage, but he's pretty tanky. The Garrison gets thrown down on the tower. Infeed rocket jumps in to close the gap to take down Sauron. Gets up away from the team. There goes the Cathan Surprise, but it does a little bit of damage, not quite enough to kill anyone. MKH has gotten out of the fight, heads up top, kiting people away, just his presence alone enough to draw players off of their points. And over at the refinery, a different engagement going on entirely. Necrogen and Captain Blueberry talking things over, but Darius has the answer to the debate with his axe, taking Kale down and recapturing the point, but things are looking a little icky right now for point defense. The Zabers is neutral at the bottom point, and the Refinery was neutral. It's 3 points up. They're going to have to take these back and make a quick play for any other point, if not the clock.
Yeah, they're really going to just have to go for neutralize before any captures can be even imagined. But Boo-Ray picks up the Storm Shield. It's not looking too good for point defense. Buda-Rice gets an excellent Cyclone, and then here comes the Infeed with so much damage. There's an Equalizer. The Infeed not in a good position. There's an intervention from Kale. Ooh, both carries are being saved by their supports, but they're both going to go down, actually, and Boo-Ray's going to keep chasing. Boo-Ray's doing a lot of damage. MMK is just an easy kill right now. He really needs to worry about high peoples. Wants to make sure that the tower doesn't get neutralized. Windmill's already been neutralized and probably going to be taken by Necrogen. As a matter of fact, the clock stopped at 44-7, and now it's going down in favor of point defense, 7-41, and counting down against Pecs. MMKH just delaying as long as possible. This is exactly what he needs to do right now. He doesn't have a way out anyway. He's just keeping them busy here. He's locked down 2 people going for a supposedly free kill, but that's 2 people not defending towers. The drill's been neutralized at 7-31, counting down 3-1 cap in favor of point defense. Can they hold on to this? We're seeing a ping go down at the windmill to defend against Pecs, but we already see Infeed and Buda-Rice heading towards it. Necrogen's going to try to come up and help Zabers defend this, and they're going to start the channel. Necrogen's going to show himself. Zabers still hasn't been shown just yet, but there Zabers comes out, and a good Sorrow's Embrace instantly bursting down Buda-Rice. Point defense gets the double kill for Necrogen on Darius. Is that going to be enough? Meanwhile, bottom lane, Blueberry and Painkiller are dealing against high peoples. They need to just hightail it towards the quarry. They need to battle out MMKH. They don't have an option right now. 7-9. Can point defense close this out? I think they might have just enough time, because the bottom tower is going to be bothered by MMKH. MMKH gets the delay. It's just enough time for point defense to get the victory. 7-0 in game 2 of the finals of Dominating Dominion number 30, taking it to a 3rd game tiebreaker.